Good evening, Americans. This is your favorite alien on the evening of Sunday, July 24th, 2022. And I want to do this special commentary for you on one thing that's divided your nation for the last almost 8 years. Since about 2015, at least. And it's the letters MAGA, MAGA, for Make America First or Great Again. Or as President Trump used to say, Make America First Again. Okay? And why was it dividing your country, and why was it so terrible and still is terrible? You Americans never figured that out, or you wouldn't have voted for President Trump, or you wouldn't have gone after him. President Biden is a bad president, yes. But President Trump was a disastrous president, worse in some cases than Biden. Biden is a terrible president. And all he's doing is cementing the tomb of the United States that was dug by President Trump. He's just putting the dirt on top of the death in a coffin that's already been laid by President Trump on there. And the reason I say this, American, is because make America great again. Or as President Trump would say, make America first again. And I know he's not stupid. Why did he come with this? I have no idea, but I wouldn't have chosen that kind of a slogan to use your political influence on people. And you guys that voted for him in 2016 and 2020 and are saying that the election is stolen, sit back and realize why you're in this mess and why they called you Nazi. Okay? Let me refresh your memories a bit. Let's go back 100 years, 1919. There was a French American who came to the United States in 1882. He was born in 1870 and he died in 1933, I believe. And his name was Raymond or Ramond Ortigue. He only had like 12 or 30 francs when he came in 1882 to live with his uncle. He was born in the southwest area of France in the Pyrenees. And he came in 1882, and by 1902, he had cemented his place as a restaurateur. He had a hotel in New York City, which he renamed Lafayette in honor of the Marquis de Lafayette from Washington's time. He also bought another hotel in Greenwich Village, which was known as Bavaria Hotel. And he made that a pretty popular hotel too. So in 1919, after the World War I, and mind you, President Woodrow Wilson was not a popular president there, especially with the French. And that's why the French and American relationship has soured over the years, even after World War II. Because of President Wilson's 14 points during the 1919 negotiations for the Versailles Treaty. And during that time, in order to ease relations, as he used to put it, Mr. Ramon Ortega, here in the United States of New York, set aside $25,000 and said that any Allied aviator who finished a crossing between New York and Paris or Paris and New York would get the prize. Details were on their care, so he didn't care how it was done. There was numerous guys that went in there. And one of them was who became Admiral Byrd later on in life. He was in there too. There was a whole bunch of Frenchmen, a whole bunch of Dutch and Americans. And a team that was financed by two guys who you'd never heard of before, Haley and another guy, and to somebody who spent $2,000 to start it. Charles Augustus Lindbergh. Well, and by 1927, he had secured full financing to make the flight. And there was a flight about a couple of weeks before him from Paris to New York. And all the other 7 people before that, they all met with very unfortunate accidents. So did these guys who flew the White Bird, as it was known in English. And you know that they made it to the United States. They just didn't land because the accounts of them say that they were in Maine. And to this day, there's a lot of people in Maine looking for them. Never found them. Never found any crash or any traces of that plane since 1927. Charles Augustus Lindbergh, on the other hand, flew the Spirit of St. Louis for 33 hours, and he landed in a field in Paris. And he met Mr. Orteig, and Mr. Orteig came back, and then he came back to New York City, where he actually received $25,000. During his lifetime, Charles Augustus Lindbergh didn't do anything, but he became a millionaire just because of the notoriety. And Mr. Orteig's price became not lost in history, just forgotten in history, but somebody remembered it, and therefore you got the X Prize that was revived earlier this century as a culmination to today's race to the space by people like Elon Musk and other people that are going out there and doing the spacefaring non-governmental thing. But back to the main issue, and why did I put Charles Augustus Lindbergh there? Because during that time that he got the prize, there was a certain French flag that was flown at the Hotel Barriere in New York City as commemoration of the flight by an American to the French, and that's why it was there. And the family of Orteig, who died, kept it in the hotel as a symbol of the unity of both nations until the late 1930s. Lindbergh, as you know, was a pro-Nazi guy. And there was a group here in the United States. He started out as a eugenics guy, okay? And to this day, there's always suspicion that he killed his own son in 1932. But then again, there was a group that was formed that says America First. It was a Nazi group. And one of the heads of it was Brüm, the Nazi head of the Nazi Party in America. And Mr. Charles Augustus Lindbergh was a sympathizer. The family of Orteig was so appalled that they took the flag down and never showed it again. Make America First. What's a Nazi symbol in the American Nazi Party in the 1930s? Why President Trump chose this kind of thing as his presidential campaign? I'll never know. But anyway, Americans, if Mr. Paul Harvey was sitting here, he would say, now, you know the rest of the story. This is your favorite alien. Good day.